Welcome back, everyone, to the next episode of Inclusion Starts Now. And we are getting to Halloween episodes, everybody. Who doesn't love a good Halloween episode? We have 3 episodes for you this month. This one is going to be all about how to make Halloween inclusive at your school, at your house, with people who don't celebrate Halloween or other October holidays. So let's get started. Before we even start, I have to tell you that I did have this procedure done. And so I am sitting in bed. And so if you are virtually watching this, you are seeing a beautiful background. That is not my background. But if you're just listening, if I sound tired, that's why. And now I want to explain to you what I'm wearing. I know it's not one of those podcasts, but today it kind of is because I am wearing this very cute shirt or sweatshirt. It's kind of like I would describe this as like an oversized long sleeve shirt, even though I am wearing a shirt underneath it. So maybe it's a sweatshirt. That doesn't matter. I'm going off topic. It says all neurotypes welcome. And it has this cool skeleton head with a beanie. His hand is like in rock out mode. And there's like the little inclusion infinity symbol inclusion. Like autism. I'm pretty sure oh gosh, autism inclusion. I don't know. Anyways, it is from Love Over Labels. And I'm obsessed with this. It is like such it's just like such a nice bag. I'm really loving the oversized look right now. So anyways, great way to be inclusive is to wear cute clothes. And then you like look cute and everyone knows that you're cool. So there is that. Now let's get on to the topic at hand, how to make Halloween inclusive. So first, we have to figure out if your school is going to be celebrating, if your classroom is going to be celebrating. I do know a lot of schools that don't celebrate Halloween because they have students who don't celebrate Halloween. Um, Personally, I probably don't have the most inclusive view on this. Um, because as a former teacher, I've never worked at a school that didn't celebrate these holidays, but I've recently worked with schools, like worked with them as like a coach. Um, and because it was too hard to like include what everybody celebrates or to like, how do you celebrate things when there's like maybe people who don't celebrate any holidays? Um, but to me, we can't make the world all celebrate one thing. Like we all celebrate these things because they're traditional to us. There might be a religious reason, a cultural reason, but like we can celebrate things and not push our beliefs on other people and instead look at it as like we are learning from each other. Um, if there are people who don't celebrate Halloween or Dia de los Muertos or the fall equinox or anything like that, um, I mean, I would definitely keep events limited, but like I would still want a Halloween parade. And I mean, if that's like a practice that they practice, I would say like if, they could either attend or not attend or, I don't know, do whatever they feel comfortable with is really what it is because sometimes we do have to make choices to make ourselves feel comfortable, even if that's not what the majority is doing. And I still feel like that's inclusive. That's listening to each other's boundaries and being, like we just can't, whatever. That's what I have to say about that. I would love to hear your opinion, but this is a one woman show. So you can message me or talk to me about it later. Here, okay, let's keep going. So the idea of not celebrating something because someone doesn't celebrate it, just again, that doesn't make sense to me. I did not mean to repeat that. How can we still make it inclusive? So, do you know families that don't celebrate it? So maybe we don't wear costumes all day. Maybe kids can bring their costumes and then wear them at the end of the day. Maybe we can do different activities that still celebrate fall and maybe kind of like a spooky season, but that actually isn't celebrating Halloween or dressing up or candy or whatever. And then being really open and honest with parents. And, maybe you say, like, we're still going to have this Halloween parade if your child what like there will be a classroom of kids who don't want to participate in the parade. They can do this in the classroom. If you want to pick them up early, you can excuse them early. This will be at the end of the day, so it's not going to like affect, it's not like they have to come back and do work. They can just leave and that's the end of the day. um and if you have like, I mean, I would say like a handful of people would probably have to like really be upset about this. You know what? I don't even know. Gosh, that's really hard. I guess I'm really thinking about this on the spot. Because yeah, I mean, if a family, okay, I'm gonna just throw out a scenario. If I was a principal of a school and we knew that there was like a handful of families who don't celebrate Halloween, um, first we would make sure that, schools and classrooms, like if they're gonna do bulletin boards or decorate their door or whatever, that it has to be more like fall related. Like that would be the first step. Um, and then focusing on like, how else can we celebrate the my favorite time of the year without it being Halloween focused and being considerate to these other people. And then, if we did the whole thing I said, have the parade at the end of the day, the kids want to stay in a classroom and do a different activity with the teacher, if they want to go home early, whatever. If for some reason parents came to me and were upset about that, instead of me just telling them these are my beliefs, get over it, I would listen and I would want to hear what their solution is. And then I would like us to together think about a compromise. So that doesn't mean that I'm going to be right all the time. It means I'm making a choice to do it, lead the way I want to lead. And then if people are telling me that there's a problem with that, then as a good leader, I would talk to them and find a solution together. Ooh, but being open and honest with parents is really important. I mean, obviously you can't hide it from them that there's going to be like Halloween stuff and then the kid's going to go back and be like, what's a ghost or, whatever. Ooh, okay. Alternatives to Halloween. So you have a school that doesn't want you to celebrate Halloween. There are other fun things that are happening around this time that we can definitely celebrate and make this fun. I want to just give a little side note when people are like, it's a Hallmark holiday. Like they don't like Valentine's Day because it's a Hallmark holiday. That's literally the only reason why I like all these holidays. I love the decorations. I love the dressing up. I love like looking forward to something. I just love having the I don't know, the experience. We're not doing the same thing every day. Like it's just so fun to me to celebrate things. I know, I'm a wizard with words. Okay, so other alternatives to Halloween. You can focus on fall, focus on leaves changing, go for a walk with the tape and, decorate it with like all the fallen leaves outside, put it into a little pumpkin thing. I'm sure I'll share this eventually. There's so many fun fall activities with like the leaves that fall and talking about it, the trees changing. Talking about the weather changing. You could even make a whole thing about clouds, talking about different clouds, making art projects with clouds, maybe even rainbows, even though I don't feel like and fall really go together, but clouds and rain, like there are so many other weather activities you can do. We can talk about the time change. We can do a bunch of clock stuff and have that be, I mean, that's probably like a math lesson. I feel like I would make like a fall math lesson all about the time change. Um, and then pumpkins. I mean, pumpkins are, they sprout. I don't know, they're ready to be picked in fall. So you can talk about other fall foods that are like ready to be eaten in fall. I don't have that prepared, but pumpkins are one of them. One of my favorite things I love to do with pumpkins was do a science project where we would talk about our five senses. So we would, feel the pumpkin on the outside. Maybe we try to guess on what it's going to be on the inside. Maybe we'd feel the inside. Some students wouldn't like to feel it, so then, we don't have them feel it. Maybe we're going to count the seeds. Maybe we're going to make a fun pumpkin. I did that as a math project too. I had all this orange yarn that the kids would glue on, and I would clean seeds and they would glue them on. And then we would like, make a math problem like 5 + 2 = 7 seeds. Make it as easy or hard as you want it to be. And then skeletons, I feel like this one might be a little iffy. Uh, But even just talking about the body, I mean, we all have skeletons. So it really is a lesson that could still be like fall themed of going over, different big bones in our body, how to keep our bones healthy. A few years with my students, I made vegetable skeletons, and we all did it that they had like a paper with an outline of a skeleton, and we'd cut like bell pepper, carrots, well, I don't know, whatever, cucumbers, and make little skeleton bodies. And that was just super fun. And I mean, that is not have to be Halloween themed, as like, again, literally all of us have skeletons. So, just some ideas. Uh, if you do celebrate Halloween at your school, making sure that kids understand how to have costumes that are not like cultural appropriation, ableist, really making sure that you're kind of educating like what kind of costumes are appropriate. Maybe even like a week before Halloween, you can ask everyone what they're going to dress up as. I know usually kids dress up as like, superheroes and princesses or animals or whatever. Um, but even just like having that conversation could just kind of put it in their head, like, how can I dress up as someone in like an appropriate way? I'm, if you missed it, this was my episode last week is all about not being ableist with Halloween costumes. So I would love for you to go check that out if you haven't already. Okay. So celebrating things like Halloween, you should also be celebrating Dia de los Muertos, discussing about what that means, celebrating people who have passed away, talking about like marigolds and the type of music that people listen to, and then also talking about the first day of fall. And this is like how you can start off the whole September, October months. First day of fall is in September, September 21st. And we can talk about the fall equinox. You can talk about what that means, like how, and then time is going to change soon. I'm pretty sure it's going to change soon. Um, and how the days are starting to get shorter. Explain how the sun isn't out as long. I just feel like these are all really fun fall activities that can still create a really fun fall vibe, even if you're not super focused on Halloween. Um, and I just kind of thought of something really random. Uh, as a parent, I definitely don't like scaring my kids. And now I don't scare any kids because I want kids to trust me. And if you're holding out something like, oh, you want to look at it, and they go, bah, and scare them, um, they're not going to trust you the next time that you're like, oh, hey, come look at this. And then they're going to be like, no, I don't want to. And then you're going to be confused at why they're not trusting you to show you something. So just a little reminder, because I feel like as a teacher, I'd never really thought of it like that. I was like, I don't know, it's fun. I loved scaring my dad when I was a kid, so I don't think I saw the harm in it. But now that I've seen more child development and now having kids like, living with me, um, I I definitely have stopped because I want them to trust me 100% of the time, that I'm never going to, do a joke. And I know Halloween's all about trick or treats, the whole trick thing. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I just am saying, like, understand that there are like, um, there's something that can happen. I don't have a word for it. What is happening to me? That consequences, I guess. I don't know. Whatever a better synonym for consequences. That mom brain is real. Okay. So moving on. Now you have a school that might celebrate some holidays. Are we making sure that the special ed classrooms can access all of these activities? So if you're having a Halloween parade, can all of the students get to where the parade is? Can all of them do the parade? Are they going up and down stairs to see parents? How are we making sure that it's accessible, that all the pathways are accessible? And do other kids know, like, if a student walks a little bit slower, can other people walk around that student? Or do we want to give that student maybe a head start or a wheelchair or a walker? Like, what kind of things can we do to make sure everybody understands, like, what's going on with the parade? Um, and then alternatives to candy. If there's candy at parades or at Halloween Day, day after, whatever, if candy is a thing at your school that you're giving kids, are you making sure, well, first, that there's no allergies, but second, that there are alternatives? If there are kids that don't eat candy, if there are kids that don't eat, what are other fun activities that we can make sure are available so everybody again has access to these fun things. And this is something I even do as a house for trick or treating is we will have a bowl of candy, but we will also have a bowl of toys. Um, and Target's gotten really good at having little toys for kids to pick, and it's very easy to do. So do it. Okay. Oh, also for the parades, is it too loud? Is it too noisy? Like, how can we prepare our students who might get overly, like a sensory overload? How can we support them? Can we make sure that they have headphones on? Can we make sure they have a fidget? Do they have a way to ask for a break or say that they want to stop for a second? Do they have a way, do they have time to practice? I think that is such an important step that gets skipped a lot. Once a teacher learns about a parade or an event or something, let's prepare our students so they're not going in not knowing what's about to happen. Um, so maybe before the parade, maybe the day before, you want to all go practice and explain to them, we're going to go up here and we're going to do a big loop around all the basketball courts. And, when we're done, we're going to go back to our classroom and then get ready to go home. And, you might see your parents there and they're going to wave to you. But do we go and run to our parents? Like, no, we're going to keep doing the parade. If you want to say hi, how are ways we can say hi? Walk them through all those steps. Always love a good social story. And I am actually pretty sure I have a trick or treating or Halloween social story. So if I do, that is going to be in the show notes below. If you were not here for my first educational talk, these are very limited to being edited. They're most likely is just not edited. So that's all you need to know about that as I pick my ear for everyone watching. Okay. So, as I was kind of saying before with the trick or treating, here are ways that at your house you can make sure that trick or treating is accessible to everybody. So, what I did last year, because we have a step that goes up to our door, so I put a small table with the bag of candy and the toys right at the step. So that means no one had to go up the step to get to the treats. And it was all decorated. We just pulled our decorations forward. Um, and the candy was there, the toy was there. I think we had a sign or something of like, just take a couple. And and then we made sure that there were lights so when it got darker, people could see because we also have a weird entrance where it kind of zigzags. And so we didn't want anyone tripping over like a toy or a sprinkler or a plant. I don't know. Who knows what's out there? I know I don't see very well at nighttime, and it was real hard when it's fall and it's 7 or 6 and it's already dark outside. So make sure that there is a clear pathway to your house. And I know people want to do the haunted mansion stuff, the loud noises. That's fine. Sometimes I think it's really nice for people to have signs out that say, sudden movements, beware. Like, if you're scared, don't come this way. Or like, like it could even be a funny sign of like, you're about to enter somewhere spooky kind of thing. And then people can decide if they want to come in or not. And if anything, I feel like that kind of people get more excited. And for the people who want to be scared, that they they now are like anticipating to be scared. And so that can, get people even more into the fun Halloween spirit if they want to go get scared. Because I do not like being scared by random strangers during Halloween because I don't know you. And I read too many scary books. So moving on. Um, do not make kids say trick or treat. I know that even last year, I had people be like, "Oh, what do you say?" And we had a child who just wasn't speaking yet. And they would, I mean, my child was also, yeah, I don't know, 1.5. Um, so it was a little bit more expected, but there are older kids who are out trick-or-treating who might not be able to say trick or treat. Uh, and this is a night to hand out free treats. So like don't be a Halloween Scrooge and just hand over some candy. Um, so don't make kids say trick or treat. Uh, and even if you do know them, the pressure of saying trick or treat when you might be like an adult in a costume that they're not used to, or maybe even if they do know you and you're in a costume, like their anxiety is going high. If you're sitting there pressuring them to say trick or treat, I mean, that can really just, I don't know, put a lot more pressure on a day that's just supposed to be fun, you know? Um, and that's pretty much it. I mean, if you don't want to follow any of these rules because you think Halloween is just supposed to be this like scary thing, everyone should get over it. I don't really care. Be that person and see how that goes for you, I guess. As we are here, if you are loving all of this information, oh my gosh, my green screen's giving me away. I have written this book called Dallas the Dog, and it is all about how to make Halloween inclusive. And it talks about food allergies, it talks about not speaking, it talks about AAC devices, it talks about wheelchair accessibility, it talks about anxiety, it talks about so many things. Um, and it's still fun. We have a cat that celebrates Dia de los Muertos. We have um Joshie the lion is dressed as Wonder Woman, which I just like. I mean, I that was like a very subtle thing. I don't even know if people have even realized I've done that because Joshie is based off of my husband Josh. And I did that because I feel like people are okay with little girls dressing as boy characters, but people are not okay with little boys dressing as girl characters. And I feel like that's just not okay. I would love it if either of my children had a character that they love so much and wanted to be them. And I would not care if the gender was something different, so of what they are. Um, Anywho, that's that's a whole nother side of inclusion, and that's not what we're here to talk about today. Oh, there goes my head. Floated away with my green screen. So there it is, Dallas the dog. If you want 15% off, use code TREAT, TREAT, and you will get 15% off of Dallas the dog. And if you love my shirt, again, I'm going to show it. All neurotypes welcome. That is my friend Love Over Labels, and I will make sure to put all of this in the show notes for you to check her out. That is everything, and I hope you have a great October, Burr month, Halloween, Dia de los Muertos. What's the other fall equinox? Whatever you celebrate, I hope it is great and inclusive. Inclusion starts with you, and I just want to help.